Kids doing this makes my heart melt. I thought her fingers had abs. Bro, my canned tuna. Tape, you need tape. I think John Gurm has got the right idea. You need to flip the house upside down. If you can go and see anywhere in the world, where would you go? Japan. I made this awesome machine that can impersonate people and generate fake news. You just gotta feed it 10,000 puppies and 8 billion gallons of water a day to work. That's horrible. Shut it off. But John Shareholder would be sad. When you become a judge thinking it's going to be easy, but you genuinely send a jaywalker to the electric chair, and you record it and post it on YouTube. So apparently TSA does not love it when you put about 40 grams of creatine powder into an unmarked Ziploc bag. Correct. I am broken when my name is spoken. What am I? McDonald's ice cream machine. A study found that people who eat high-fat cheese were less likely to develop dementia and had lower rates of diabetes. Oh wow, the brain, which is high in fat, is healthy when you eat high in fat foods. Crazy. 8-year-old. Are weddings expensive? Very. What if I run away to get married and don't invite anybody? Then you would be my favorite child. If you go out to dinner and still feel like smashing afterwards, the restaurant has failed. There's not a restaurant on earth that will keep me wanting from my wife. What about the restaurant of finding out she's been cheating on you after 20 years? What about that restaurant? Me asking a young child for ideas for a monster's ability. The most horrific description I've ever heard. Little kids will be like, they eat people's dreams by sticking a fork in their ears and twisting their brains up like spaghetti. And they'll eat all your happiness and put your brain back with just bad stuff. Like Tommy age 9 is going through it. Math teachers, when you decide to not use their 900-step formula to calculate 3 + 2, show you're working! I don't remember ordering this item with my 2-topping medium pizza. Bro got a restaurant-grade pizza cutter for free and has still got an attitude about it. I'll take it. Frost on my car window looks like a sketch. That's beautiful! I have 15 years worth of outstanding library finds in 3 separate cities, and it's my hope that eventually a bounty hunter librarian will come to collect and we'll get into a bar fight and fall in love. As a person, I think this is funny, but as a librarian, this really annoys me. Lugia chewing undersea cables. This is the kind of stuff I imagine Pokemon champions get called in to handle. Like, yeah, we got a legendary Pokemon here that keeps messing up our infrastructure. Can you come do something about it? I wish that it was socially acceptable to remain mute and stare off into space during every social interaction. Thank God there's no ChatGPT rap. You declined in cognitive ability by 19 years. This guy literally dressed like his dead mum to get her $61,000 pension per year. I'm sorry, but he definitely would have fooled my hair. Which one is the mother? And also, if his mother's passed away, wouldn't he get the money anyway? Unless he has siblings. I don't know, the whole situation. I don't think a childless homeowner should have to pay school taxes. As a childless homeowner, I absolutely want to pay school taxes because I don't want to live in a community of stupid people. So-called live streamers, and not a single one of them is currently fishing for bass. Pookie, I think you're at the wrong category on Twitch. What the hell is Twitch? I asked my 8-year-old if he liked my sleeveless blouse, and he said, the color's fine, but I don't like public armpits. Public armpits. It's going straight to Goodwill. Me, successfully convincing the firefighter that I won't die from this fire because I'm in the living room. Me, realizing I can pretend to be a 13-year-old girl to kidnap 200 predators and make my own Squid Game. Nothing is stopping me from doing this. Guys, I'm gonna do this. But the only way you'll ever know if I'm doing this is if you're a predator. So don't try and find out if I'm doing this. Matthew Lillard had no idea who William Afton was and thought he had auditioned for the purple guy sprite. I thought I was gonna be purple. Jury duty is such a wild concept. The government says, call off work, champ. We need you to help solve a murder. Here's $15. What happens if you were to just say no? Like, I'm good. Would you then be in trouble off suspicion? My girlfriend is taking an online course to learn how to care for autistic children, and every time she completes a module, she just stares at me like this. The girl said she knew a spot for our first date, and she took me to Costco. She took you to an exclusive members-only restaurant with a limited menu. Some people pay top dollar for that. I lined my mum asking if the cat back home is doing well, and the picture she sent me, the cat is doing so well. 7-year-old me looking at a random window miles away to make it clear to the sniper he isn't slick. Yeah, I see that glare. I see that sniper glare in the, in the corner of my eye. I see it. Jim Henson's original sketch of Kermit, 1955, got matter in one. No workshopping, no nothing. A perfect little man. First try. For the amount of meat you can get out of a clam, I feel like we should just leave them alone. He looks so sad. Did you yell at him? Please don't yell on him. He's my baby. Horses are a great pet for anyone who's ever wished their bicycle could make bad choices. Screw you! Horses have made very good choices for most of humanity. I like horses, respect them. My intrusive thoughts won. All you did was eat a donut. That's not an intrusive thought. If my intrusive thoughts won, I would be on the news. People need to stop using intrusive when I think they mean impulsive. Yep, that's true. That's pretty true. Why would a bug spend such a long fraction of its short life immobile on my ceiling beats me? This is how God must feel when he sees us scrolling on our phones. Dollar General is the Waffle House of convenience stores. I said what I said. How Family Dollar employees be when you pull up. How your dad looks at you when you don't want to help him move 100,000 pounds of dirt at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. I was dating this girl and she said, I'm not sharing a straw with you. Ma'am, I have done the deed with you. Congrats on the deed. This guy just wanted to tell Twitter he's done the deed. I received a $100 million trust fund at 18 and turned that into 1.3 billion by making my coffee at home and inheriting another 1.2 billion. The worst part of being a good listener is that people get creeped out by the information I've retained about them just from listening. How do you know that about me? You told me. Wow, Gmail's auto-reply has gotten really good. Hi Nathan, just wanted to know what you wanted for Christmas. I would like a carton of eggs for Christmas. I would like a carton of it. You would like 2 cartons of eggs. My son is fine. Your son is completely unfazed by life or death situations, but panics like he's being hunted for sport when someone merely flirts with him. When you count calories for the first time and realize you've been eating like a family of 4 all your life. Do you only just realize that now? If you're eating like a family of 4, you must be humongous. Which jobs are 100% safe from AI? I'm a hairdresser. I don't expect to be replaced by AI anytime soon. That said, it does make our lives a little more frustrating, considering there are a number of people who bring us AI-generated images of hairstyles that are physically impossible. Can everyone give me a hack for getting energy quick that isn't caffeine, isn't a nap, isn't working out, isn't a snack, isn't drugs? Hearing your pet make heaving sounds in a carpeted room. Booking flights on a phone is crazy. That is a laptop activity. The most millennial trait is big purchases must happen in a big laptop screen. My girl got the nerve to cook dinner with the same pot she beat me with. This is a cartoon relationship. She must have hit you quite hard. Got the job market right where I want it. Hi Thomas. Your experience as a CEO and customer service representative could serve well in this bartender role. Does it bother you that I call you mum? If it does, I can stop anytime. I definitely prefer mum to dad or daddy. Can I call you Aunt Margaret? I'm cool with that. A Tic Tac for breakfast, a Tic Tac for lunch, and 3,000 calories for dinner minutes before bed. I plugged 3 consoles into 1 AV port for maximum gaming. Battle for dominance in the game dome. I have absolutely no idea who this dude is. Just wandered in, choosing to read this from the POV of the cat. My dad summed up in one exchange. The stew your mum is making for dinner tonight is concerning. Can you surprise us with some tacos on your way home from work? Mission accomplished. My dad acting surprised. He's a very good actor. We should get him a show. The skinwalker pretending to be my dog, watching me douse my meat. Unemployed people are so puppy-coded. Like, oh, you slept all day while I was at work and now you're happy I'm home to play games with you? Okay. My Mexican mum said they probably swapped me with some Russian woman's kid at the hospital. Somewhere out there in Siberia is a brown kid who wants nothing more than to eat a quesadilla. Doesn't baby swaps happen quite often, or not often, but too much? Was going through some of my health records and some doctor put dresses oddly next to my psychotic symptoms. Hey, screw you, man. Symptoms, no drip. My wife eats nerds, one little nerd at a time. That's insane. I eat nerds the correct way by pouring the whole box into my mouth and nearly choking to death. The phrase, no amount of skill will protect you from the sheer luck of a chronic idiot, popped into my head, and if that ain't a big mood, I don't know what is. Dungeons and Dragons, a summary. Me watching my bro's phone start blasting his goofy R ringtone while we're sitting with 10 out of 10 goth baddies. You got Snap? I have an address where you can send me roses and love letters. Act grown. When you joined the army to get your college tuition paid for. But you low-key realize you were genuinely born for this. Humanity in 2347, when a solar flare wipes out the AI systems, and no one knows how to boil water without asking ChatGPT. Showed up to my story at a Buddhist temple and accidentally dressed like a monk today. And the monk thought this was the funniest thing ever. So now we have like 3,000 photos to prove he wore it better. POV. V. Me in 70 years at 3 a.m. in the nursing home, and I hear a chest in the next room when your homeboy is so dumb to the point you physically can't put your anger into words. How it feels to watch YouTube on the TV and play with your nuts for an hour instead of gaming or scrolling on the phone. I mean, you're much more productive doing this. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. You don't have enough hate in your heart, brother. How I feel at college after the only conversation I've had for a month with someone was them asking, "Is this seat taken?" Me resisting the urge to say, "I ate it." Whenever someone asks me about something they lost, if you're a guy and you're struggling right now, just remember nobody cares, and it does get worse. We care, come on. We care. Bro, I hate living next to a tavern. They always have the worst singers performing on Saturdays. Posts that an elf would also write. My life is a joke. I live 2 minutes from a castle in one direction and the old town market in the other. You can see remnants of the old wall in part of the town. Our library used to be the medieval town hall. We have a 500-year-old fairy tree overlooking the entire valley, and I don't have any elves to smash. The transition from sodium lighting to LEDs. Johnny, all your answers are correct on your math assignment, but where is the work for how you got the answers? I don't have $7,000. Can you go lower? Okay, fine, 6,800. 6,503 of these. My mum has a Temu shopping addiction, but also has very good taste. So things happen such as the bolt covers on the downstairs toilet to small ceramic birds. Wow, do we have the same mum? Although my mum has a shopping addiction to candles. My marriage has never been hard work. My wife literally lowers my blood pressure by walking into the room. Confirmed and observed by a nurse at the hospital. Professionals who enter people's homes. Plumbers, electricians, cleaners. What is something the condition of a house tells you about the owner that they don't realize they're revealing? People who have the least are the ones who offer you a drink or food. A man walks into his bedroom and sees his wife packing a suitcase. He asks, "What are you doing?" She replies, "I'm off to New York. I read that women there get paid $400 for doing what I do to you for free." Later on her way out, the wife walks into the bedroom and sees her husband packing his suitcase. "Where are you going?" she asks. "I'm coming with you. I want to see how you live on $800 a year." Inside you, there are two cinephiles. The film lacked theatric nuance and didn't challenge me as a viewer. Wow, that was fun. My dad told me to quickly switch on the TV so my cat can watch Zootopia. My cat is all alone watching Zootopia. I hate it here. Boy, I hope my PTO got approved. When my family is laughing at me at dinner, but my sister with a secret boyfriend is laughing a little too hard. This is when I start saying, "Don't you have something to say? Doctor, could there be anything causing your chronic back pain?" Me, every night in my bed. Me, forcing the I don't care mindset on myself, even though I'm the most sensitive person and worry about everything. It's important to always have something to look forward to, no matter how big or small. Computer fans start going crazy. Open Task Manager to check what is happening. Fans immediately stop. I'm old enough to remember when Apple's branding was based pretty much 100% on the headphone wires. Would she date her looks equivalent? Update, this girl is threatening to sue me for the post below. I'm babysitting for a new family trying to bond with the 3-year-old. So I asked him how old he is, and he said, 3. So I replied, "Cool, when are you going to be 4? And the guy said, "When I'm done being 3, and walked away. Alright, you clever bastard, this means war. I had a really messed up dream. P&F related. Sorry, but Phineas and Ferb were not in it. When I was a teen, I went to the doctor for my crooked spine. He said, "You have scoliosis, but I'm not going to put scoliosis on your chart because then legally you can't be a policeman, firefighter, or astronaut. I don't want to do any of that." Well, you never know. Real talk. Spending 365 days without seeing yourself in the hospital, prison, or cemetery is something to thank God for. Being in my 20s is weird. I feel 17, but then I meet someone who is 17 and realize I'm definitely not 17 anymore. The funniest thing to do as an older sibling is to add S onto stuff your younger sibling plays. Oh, you're booting up Pokemons? You're booting up Fortnites on the Switch? Skyrims? Because it's the closest thing humans have to a rage spell. OP, you are missing the power of the, as in the Pokemon, or the Fortnite. Hell, I just say the Costco and everyone around me loses their mind. So we've been going out for a while, and he did this before picking me up today. He gave you an option of polling. You need 5 minutes, you're ready, you're going as fast as you can, leave me alone, you hate me. My unpopular opinion. I actually do not desire to see technology advance any further. That's a pretty hot take, yeah. I want to see humans get better and improve things. Would STIs be eliminated if everyone stopped doing the deed for 100 years? Humans would be eliminated. My boss denied me a raise before my shift today. What's some music you have never wanted to hear in a coffee shop? I don't know, just make sure to play the same thing over and over and over again. Maybe the McDonald's beeping noise. Babysitting, and the 4-year-old asked me why I'm getting married. I told her because I'm in love and I'm going to make cute babies like her. She straight up looked at my face and said,
"Don't ever bring your gross babies into my nice house."
A lesson I learned this year is that a person's capacity for growth is directly linked to how much truth they can face about themselves without running away. Squishmallow law is wild. What do you mean this avocado is a defense attorney? Southwest emails. Want to get away for $49? Search results. That'll be $691, big dog. It's the same with airlines.
You want a flight for $30? Now once you've went through adding all the additional things you don't have a choice on saying no to, it's now $500.
Not now, kitten. Daddy is identifying 5 things he can see, 4 things he can touch, 3 things he can hear, 2 things he can smell, and 1 thing he can taste. Why does this generation seem to be so against having kids? Even animals reduce or completely stop reproduction when the environment is unfavorable. My dad's newest girlfriend introduced herself as Cinnamon with an S, and I've been calling her Cinnamons all afternoon, and she will not correct me. You snooze, you lose. Anti-nap propaganda, changing it to you snooze, yay, yippee. Evilest guy I knew was 6'4", and he would go around at parties telling women with boyfriends that he was 6 foot. The woman on the subway who yelled, "None of this is real, none of us exist," when you touch an unaware cat and it goes, meep. Tinkerbell doesn't make this noise, and I only found out cats do this 3 years ago. Tinkerbell never makes this noise. Is it because she's just hyper aware? But it was when I went on holiday and I was stroking a few cats. I realized, why is this cat making the meep noise every time I touch it? I had to look it up. I was wondering what's wrong. Guess who turned 30? That's right, the world's oldest documented cat. Her name is Flossie. She was born a stray in Liverpool in late 1995. My Italian grandfather barely speaks English, but I can tell he's upset that I won't come over and have a beer with him. I already told you, I'm doing dry January. What is it again? I'm not drinking alcohol for the entire month of January. I know, understand. January already, miserable bump. Why you make it worse for both? Your grandfather is a funny guy, but he's not a good influence on you. When you pull up to see a fast food drive-thru and see a 60-year-old man working, suddenly nothing is funny anymore. I had a 72-year-old coworker one day fall on the floor. I helped him up and he was out of breath, and I asked, "Woody, why don't you go home and rest?" He told me straight up, "I can't afford to." I told him I would cover his area and work, just sneak off a nap in the car. He thanked me. I left that job a year later and I heard he died on the production floor from overwork. I hate to say it, but my relationship did in fact get 100 times better once I started focusing on showing appreciation for all the things my partner was doing and stopped nagging about the things he wasn't. When you ask God for a sign and she brings you to this restaurant, hotel receptionist working on something beautiful, nice and cute bunnies, men will see this and get motivated. After Gen Z overthrew the government, Nepal elects its new prime minister via a Discord vote. The most Gen Z sentence I've ever read. She isn't happy. Don't call my husband sweetheart. You're not getting a tip. Another what not to do moment brought to you by Facebook. Our first house and our first apartment. We're gonna trace what the key looks like, so if anyone wants to copy it, they can. When the genie says no infinite wishes, so I wish for him to have short-term memory loss and just keep reminding him I still have 3 wishes. Don't ignore the happy little onion and you will have the best year ever. Honestly, I can't afford to mess around anymore. I see you, happy little onion. The coolest bookmark doesn't exist. That is so cool. I got my green bean casserole prepped.